The person who can't look at a red notification bubble on their smartphone without a microscopic spike in their heart rate isn't just connected. They are the survivors of a grand, psychological experiment that began in the sunny, optimistic classrooms of the 1990s. If you sit in any suburban Starbucks today and watch them, you'll see the Millennial Twitch, that subconscious movement where they toggle between a professional email, a mounting credit card statement, and a curated Instagram feed of someone they went to high school with who is somehow, inexplicably, on a beach in Bali. They move with a frantic, buzzing energy, a constant internal hustle that masks a deeper, quieter exhaustion. They are the generation of the open tab. Their brains are like a browser with 50 windows running simultaneously, and somewhere in the background, a song is playing that they can't figure out how to mute. This is the person who feels a crushing wave of guilt if they spend a Saturday afternoon just lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling. They've been conditioned to believe that rest is not a biological necessity, but a moral failure. They are the ones who turned burnout into a personality trait and self-care into another item on their to-do list. But if you look past the filtered aesthetic and the main character energy, you see the soul of someone who was promised a map to a treasure chest, only to realize midway through the journey that the map was for a world that no longer exists. To understand the hidden engine of this mind, you have to go back to the mid-90s, to the era of the gifted and talented program and the birth of the participation trophy. This wasn't a generation of entitled brats. It was a generation of children who were told, with absolute certainty, that they were special. They were raised on Disney movies where the underdog always won and Nicktoons that celebrated the unique quirks of the individual. They were told that if they followed their passion, the money would follow and that their potential was limitless. They were the first generation to grow up with a personal computer in the house, hearing the haunting, screeching symphony of a dial-up modem connecting them to a global village. They were the bridge generation, the last humans to remember the smell of a Blockbuster video store and the specific weight of a thick Sears catalog, but the first to have their awkward teenage years documented on MySpace and AIM. They entered adulthood with a linear plan: work hard, get the degree, get the 401k, buy the house. But then, 2008 happened. Just as they were stepping across the threshold of the real world, the floor turned into a trapdoor. The linear path was shredded in real time, replaced by a gig economy that promised freedom but delivered instability. Suddenly, the special child with the honors degree was working 3 part-time jobs just to afford a room in an apartment with 4 roommates. This wasn't just an economic crisis, it was a spiritual betrayal that rewrote their internal software. They didn't blame the banks or the system. They looked in the mirror and asked, "Why am I not good enough to overcome this?" Have you noticed how this person obsesses over optimization? They don't just go for a walk. They track their heart rate variability on a ring. They don't just eat. They analyze their macros on an app. They don't just have a hobby. They have a passion project they hope to eventually monetize. This is the productivity trap. Because they feel so behind on the traditional milestones of adulthood, marriage, home ownership, financial independence, they try to compensate by being perfect at everything else. They are the first generation to live their entire adult lives under the magnifying glass of social media, where life isn't just lived, it's curated. Unlike Gen X, who found power in being invisible, Gen Y feels a constant pressure to perform. This has led to a phenomenon called the perfectionist's paralysis. They are terrified of making the wrong choice, so they often make no choice at all. They stay in soul-crushing jobs because the market is scary, or they stay in mediocre relationships because they're waiting for a certainty that doesn't exist. They are haunted by decision fatigue. In a world where they were told they could be anything, the weight of choosing one thing feels like a death sentence. Every path taken means 1,000 other lives are left unlived, and in their minds, they are constantly comparing their actual life to the idealized version of themselves that lives in the cloud. This is why they feel like imposters in their own skin. They are waiting for the real adults to arrive and take over, only to realize with a jolt of terror that they are the only ones in the room, and they're the ones responsible for the mortgage, the taxes, and the future. But there is a meaningful truth rising out of this exhaustion, and it's a truth that is slowly changing the world. Because the old systems failed them so spectacularly, millennials are the ones finally doing the heavy lifting of generational breaking. They are the ones who took the stoic silence of their parents and turned it into a conversation about mental health. They are the ones who normalized therapy, who started talking about boundaries and toxic work cultures, and who decided that their worth as humans was not tied to their corporate title. They have decoupled success from status symbols. If they can't afford the white picket fence, they will find meaning in a converted van, a community garden, or a found family of friends who show up for Friendsgiving with more loyalty than their own blood relatives. Their invisible power is their vulnerability. By being honest about their burnout and their anxiety, they are creating a world where the next generation won't have to pretend to be superhuman. They are the pioneers of the experience economy, realizing that memories are the only currency that doesn't devalue when the market crashes. They have a profound capacity for empathy, having grown up in a globalized world where they could see the struggles of people thousands of miles away in real time. They are the moral compass of the 21st century, holding the world accountable for its climate, its justice, and its soul. They are the bridge, carrying the grit of the analog past and the innovation of the digital future, trying to ensure that as we move into an era of AI and automation, we don't lose the one thing that makes us human, our connection to each other. Look at their relationship with nostalgia through a deeper lens. Why do they obsess over 90 seconds fashion, old Disney soundtracks, and the pixelated graphics of their childhood? It's not just a trend, it's a psychological, safe house. It's a return to the last time the world felt solvable. In the 90 seconds, if you got stuck in a video game, you bought a guide or asked a friend. Today, the problems they face, housing shortages, climate change, the erosion of the middle class, feel unsolvable. Nostalgia is their way of rerouting themselves before they head back out into the digital storm. But they aren't just looking backward. They are the most dangerously adaptive generation in history. They have survived 3 once-in-a-lifetime economic disasters before their 40th birthdays. They have pivoted their careers more times than their parents changed their oil. They are the ultimate reframer. When a door slams shut, they don't just knock, they build a whole new building with a different entrance. They are the generation that is redefining what it means to have it all. Maybe having it all doesn't mean a mansion and a luxury car. Maybe it means a Tuesday afternoon with a friend, a job that doesn't steal your peace, and the ability to breathe without feeling like you're failing. They are the ones who are finally learning to close the tabs that no longer serve them. They are learning that they don't need a participation trophy to be valid. Their existence is the trophy. Their resilience is the success. Does this feel a bit too familiar? Maybe you're the person who feels a crushing weight of Sunday scaries every week, or the person who feels like you're behind in a race where the finish line keeps moving. If that's you, know that you aren't failing, you are a pioneer. You are the first generation to navigate the total transformation of human consciousness into the digital age. You are the shock absorber of history. Your anxiety isn't a flaw, it's a natural response to an unnatural environment. Your burnout is a sign that you have a soul that refuses to be treated like a machine. You are the invisible architects of a more compassionate future. By choosing to heal, by choosing to be honest, and by choosing to find joy in the messy middle, you are winning a game that was designed for you to lose. You are the bridge, and while bridges get walked on, they are the only thing that allows humanity to get to the other side. Your worth isn't in your productivity, it's in your persistence. You are Generation Y. You are the transition generation, and you are finally realizing that the special person the world told you to be is nowhere near as incredible as the authentic person you are becoming. The world doesn't need more gifted children. It needs more adults who are brave enough to be real. And that, in a world of filters and noise, is the most dangerous and powerful thing of all. The next time you see that person with 50 open tabs and a bouncing leg, don't pity their stress. Respect their journey. Because they are the ones who are building the world we all have to live in, one therapy session and one boundary at a time. They are the ones who will still be searching for meaning when the screens finally fade to black, and they're the only ones who might actually find it. Ultimately, the story of the millennial isn't a tragedy of missed potential. It's an epic of reclaimed reality. They are the ones who are taking the broken pieces of the American dream and making a mosaic that actually reflects the truth of the human heart. They are learning that stability isn't a house, it's a community. They are learning that purpose isn't a career, it's a way of being. They are the generation that is finally unlearning the lies they were told so they can hear the truth that has been there all along. They are the masters of the pivot, the keepers of the vibe, and the guardians of authenticity. They are the ones who will teach the next generation that it's okay to be mid, to be quiet, and to be happy without an audience. They are the invisible giants of empathy, holding up a world that is trying to turn us all into data points. And when the history books are written, they won't be remembered for their avocado toast or their participation trophies. They will be remembered as the generation that broke the cycle, the generation that stopped running, the generation that finally decided to be home, even if home was just a feeling in their own chest. They are dangerously resilient, they are beautifully exhausted, and they are exactly what we need.